Well, hey everyone, it is Sunny here. I don't know what happened with my voice. It went really high for a second there. But we are here, and that's probably because I was drinking some iced coffee right before I start chatting. So, anywho, we are here today because we are going to talk about marketing. Let me change this real quick. Okay, so I wasn't sure if I think I had the wrong speaker on. So hopefully y'all can hear me. Okay, so today, like I said, I'm just going to make sure that we're live on Facebook real quick. And we are going to talk about some marketing wins. And so I want to chat a little bit about marketing before we kind of discuss some marketing wins that have happened recently. Okay, great. So I can see myself. We are live on Facebook. Awesome. Okay, so I want to talk about just marketing really quickly and why it is so important to building a private practice. This certainly doesn't apply to everybody. But I think the majority of people who go to nutrition school, especially functional nutrition or integrative nutrition, especially if it's our second career. For me, it was definitely a second career for me. We want to have our own practices because we want to create our own hours. We want to operate by our rules, not other people's rules. We want to provide a really quality service to a set of the population because we want to help them. We're just natural helper healers. We assist people in living their life to the fullest or taking control of their health or bringing back power to them so that they can take control of their bodies and so they can understand what's going on in them. And a big part of running your own practice is marketing, right? I mean, it's not something that we think about when we think, yes, I'm going to have my own practice. I'm going to see my own clients. I'm going to have this cute little office, which is all the things I thought about when I thought, or when I was in school. And all that is great. But what we don't think about is the entrepreneur piece, right? We are a business owner, so we have to learn how to market ourselves. And I want to talk about one teeny tiny piece of the grander marketing scheme because marketing it's a beast, it's an animal, and it's got so many moving parts. Right now, we're right in the middle of the Prosperous Practitioner. So the first run of the Prosperous Practitioner, which is our marketing course. So it is how to get deep into learning how to market yourself as an entrepreneur, but also understanding the community that you're attempting to market to. And then doing all of it in a way that feels good to you. Because the one thing that I always push is authenticity. You always want to be true to yourself, true to who you are. Be yourself, show yourself, be true to who you are. Don't do things that you don't feel comfortable doing. Because there's a lot of different ways that you can market yourself, but they may not feel good to you. And I'm totally not into skeevy marketing. So, right, doing the things that just doesn't feel good to you or don't feel authentic to yourself. So one thing that you truly have to do before you can market is you have to understand your ideal client or your audience that you're trying to reach. So you'll hear this used as some people will call a niche, or some people will call it a condition that they focus on, or a set of symptoms, or a type of person. Whatever it is, we need to focus on a set of the population. And here's the problem that most people have. The most people that I work with, this is the problem that they have, is that they're afraid to pick a subset of the population because they are afraid that once they pick a subset of the population, they are going to exclude this larger part of the population. And when I tell you that couldn't be further from the truth, it absolutely couldn't be further from the truth. And I always use this as an example. I market to women with Hashimoto's disease. That is it. That is exactly who I market to, is women with Hashimoto's disease. And I get people that don't have Hashimoto's disease. I get men. I get women with hormone imbalance or digestive issues, or people that are just trying to eat right, or women that have heard that by changing their diet, they can support their mental health. So I get all types of clients that don't have Hashimoto's disease, or that aren't women or don't identify as women. And that's great because that means that my marketing message is on point. I get a lot of women with Hashimoto's, but these other individuals, they come to me from referrals, or they come to me because they like my authentic message. They like who I am as a person, and they reach out to me to say, I understand that this is who you help, but is there potential that you can also help me? So if you're marketing authentically, if you're marketing and being true to who you are going to get other people outside of the niche or the audience that you have chosen. So that's first. The second thing to understand is that if you pick a niche or you pick an audience and you don't like it, let's say you've done it for 3 or 4 months, or even maybe a couple years or 5 years or however long, you can always change it. It's your business. You can literally do anything you want. There is nothing that says that if I choose a niche today, that's 3 months from now, I have to stick with this niche, even if I don't like it, even if I'm not feeling it, even if I feel like I am not serving who I want to serve, then people feel like they can't pick it. And that's completely false. 100%, you can change your niche at any time you want. It's your business. And that's the great part of owning a business. It's your rules. You do what you want. But here's the thing. You have to have a niche. And here's why. Is if you are trying to market to everybody, you're literally going to market to nobody, because marketing is all about messaging, right? You have to make sure that you are exuding a very specific message to a subset of the population. So, for instance, let's say we look at a mattress store, right? Their marketing is specific to people that are in the market for a new mattress. If you're not looking for a new mattress, their marketing message doesn't even apply to you. You don't even pay attention. You see the commercials and you're like, nah, not for me, because you're not looking for a new mattress. The moment that you're looking for a new mattress, now you're tuning into those marketing messages. You're looking at all the different marketing commercials. You're asking people in your neighborhood or friends and family, like, hey, do you guys have a recommendation for a really good mattress company? I need to get a new mattress, but I don't want to spend an arm and a leg because they're super expensive. Or maybe you're looking for a clean mattress, right? One that was environmentally friendly and doesn't have a lot of toxin buildup in it. And so you're looking for these referrals because you are looking for a specific type of thing. Now, if I was a mattress company and instead of marketing to people that were looking for new mattresses, instead I chose to market to people that were, wanting to buy pillows, I literally would market to nobody that was looking for my item or my product or my experience, right? So you want to make sure that you're marketing to who it is that you're trying to bring in. And I know right now you're saying, but Sunny, if I market to nutrition, if I market to everybody that's looking for nutrition stuff, won't I get everybody that's looking for nutrition help? Yes and no, because a lot of people don't understand that nutrition can help them in a vastly larger, a much bigger way than just food, right? A lot of people think, well, I don't need to change my diet because I'm not trying to lose weight. But food has such a bigger impact on the body than just what you look like on the outside or how much you weigh. And quite honestly, food, I mean, it can play a role, but it's usually not the calories that you consume. It's more the content of those foods that you're consuming. But people have not yet made that connection. So your job is to help them make that connection. You're there to help them build awareness and education around what you can do and how it can help them. But if they don't think that they have a problem, what you're talking about is just going to go over their head. So you want to focus on a subset of the population and speak directly to them. Because if I say things like, I'm going to help you regain your youthfulness by helping you increase your nutrient intake and eat the rainbow. Nobody wants that. Nobody wants to eat the rainbow. I don't even want to eat the rainbow, and I'm a nutritionist. So nobody wants to eat the rainbow. Nobody wants to, regain their youthfulness and re-energize their bodies. I mean, that's not how people think, right? But if you say to somebody, I'm going to help you bring down your fasting glucose numbers by some dietary changes, some herbs, and some supplements that are tailored to your body. If somebody's out there trying to hunt of how to bring down their fasting blood glucose, then you're going to be speaking directly to them, right? These things that people are Googling late night when they're trying to solve their own health issues, those are the things that you want to talk about. So first and foremost, when you are starting out in your business, the number one thing that you need to understand is who you're trying to market to. If you don't know who you're trying to market to, your marketing message is going to go over everybody's head. You have to understand them. You have to know them. You have to talk directly to them. So as we're running the Prosperous Practitioner, I just wanted to share a couple of things that people have brought up, or a couple like aha moments that we've had. So our very first week is all about understand your niche and your ideal client. And I have them do surveys. We do interviews of the people inside that population that we want to serve, because we want to understand them. You have to understand them. You have to have a really good knowledge of them, because once you understand them and you have a really good knowledge of them, you can market directly to them. Everything on top of that that you do with your business, whether it's the services that you create, the webinars or seminars or public talks that you do, whether you do small or large group coaching programs or courses, one-on-one services, blogging, vlogging, or anything of that nature. Maybe you want to get into podcasting, all of your email marketing, all of your print marketing, anything that you do on social media, you have to keep that target audience in mind. And you have to ask yourself, is this something that they want? Is this something that they are looking for? Because what I want to teach people may not be what they're looking for. So if I'm only talking about the things that that's meaningful to me, or the things that I want to talk to them about, totally going to miss the mark. I need to talk about the things that they want to know about, the things that they're searching for, the things that they're Googling at 11 p.m. when they can't sleep because they're stressed to the hilt and they have insomnia and they're trying to figure out what the heck's going on with their body and why they're having all these weird symptoms. That's what you need to speak to. That's what you need to talk to. That's what you need to educate them on. So what we've learned so far in Prosperous Practitioner is everybody has dug super deep into their ideal client. They've done surveys, or they're starting to do surveys, because anything that you write on your website, everything on top of that is all comes back to that ideal client. If you don't have a very deep understanding of your ideal client, you are going to be super, super frustrated when it comes to marketing. Now, these are all things that I teach inside the mentorship program as well. It's just compacted and in a much more shortened version. So, if an intern is with us for 8 or 9 months, they're probably going to get the majority of the same information, or they get it in a shortened 8 weeks. So a couple people have mentioned that they finally narrowed down their niche. They had been afraid to over a longer period of time. They knew they needed to do it, but they were afraid to because, one, they didn't quite understand the overall importance of it. And two, they thought they were going to exclude a whole bunch of people. We've got over that fear, and now we've got everybody's narrowing down their niche, and they're really learning about their ideal client. Now, we've moved on into marketing, so we've discussed things like social media strategy, macro and micro content marketing, where you need to be at when it comes to social media. You don't have to be everywhere, just where your audience is. So that's a little tip for you. And then I wanted to share a couple other wins that we've had. So we had one of our interns had picked a niche, and after a couple months, she just felt like it wasn't really for her. And it's not that she didn't like it. She just wanted to make it much more specific. So she wanted to go from broad digestive health and really focus on celiac disease. So I said, great, why don't we learn a little bit about your audience? Here is a survey. I would love for you to ask some people that fall in that category, and people with celiac disease, so that you can learn a little bit more about them. She found a Reddit thread, and she posted the survey in Reddit, and she had well over 100 people respond inside of 24 hours. And the things that she learned about individuals with celiac disease was really great, right? So a lot of it was things that we already knew, but some of the bigger factors that she wasn't aware of, and quite honestly, I didn't think that was kind of an overarching problem for them, is a lot of them talked about the cost of being celiac or having celiac disease, because you have to eat gluten-free foods. And purchasing gluten-free foods it would take a toll on their pocketbook. So that is a period or a piece that she needs to market to bring them in. Look, I totally get it. It is expensive being gluten-free. I hear you. And then the other thing is the number of digestive issues that people still have, even though they're 100% gluten-free. And that's because they don't understand cross-contamination, or they don't understand molecular mimicry, or the fact that if you have a food sensitivity or food allergy, you probably have more than one. So marketing to those two major things that she learned is what's going to bring people into her world. Now, once they're in her world or her community, then she can market to the other things, educate, and then promote herself. So that's one really cool thing that happened. And then another is I give a website outline. So there's a website outline inside the Prosperous Practitioner. And once a year, I do a website outline kind of marketing. What's the word I'm looking for? Training, I guess we'll say. It's a group meeting to our interns to teach them, this is a good flow for your website. Here's what you need to put on each page. And this is the story that you're trying to tell, so that they can kind of make sure that there's a good flow to their website. And so one of the interns took my website outline and literally wrote their entire copy for their website. Copy is the words that you use in marketing. So she wrote her entire copy for her website. In one of our one-on-one meetings, we went over her copy, and it was amazing because she had a really good, deep knowledge of who she was trying to market to and who she was trying to serve in her community. So I just want to share those things because marketing cannot be undervalued or underrated when it comes to building your nutrition practice. And once you get out of school, you're kind of stuck in this interesting space, right? You're trying to get your hours for your CNS, if that's something that you're trying to do. So you know that you need to get clients in the door, and you're spending an inordinate amount of time trying to get clients in the door. But then you also need to focus on marketing. So you think like, okay, school's over. It's not going to be so stressful anymore. I'm going to have a moment to breathe. But in reality, it's still kind of a stressful period because you're trying to get your hours, you're trying to build a client base, you're trying to learn everything you can about running a nutrition session and building up your protocols and learning, if this client has X, Y, or Z, what's the best approach? How should I start? You're really starting to learn about behavior modification and behavior change because your 1 or 2 classes kind of gave you a little intro into what it's like, but actually trying to walk someone through behavior modifications or behavior changes a lot more challenging than it appeared in your classes. So you've got all of this going on, but then you're like, well, why aren't I getting clients? How do I get clients? I need to get clients because I need to have clients for my internship to get my hours. But that's where marketing comes in. That's where you have to truly have a solid foundation and a solid understanding of who you're trying to serve. Niching early on is super, super important. And again, that doesn't mean that you can't take other people outside of your niche. It just means you're marketing to that niche. Now, if you're marketing specific to women with hormone imbalances or women with period problems, that doesn't mean that if somebody with type 2 diabetes comes and says, hey, my friend referred me to you, can I be a client of yours? That doesn't mean that you have to say no. If you have the space, you absolutely take that person. But it just means that your marketing is directed to the niche that you have chosen. So niching early on is super, super important to build your practice so that you have enough clients to get your internship hours. So never, never, never underestimate the power of marketing, the power of niche marketing, and the power of understanding who your ideal audience is. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, definitely let me know. Otherwise, I will see y'all around. Bye.